Okay, so I'm making this video in lieu of anything else, in lieu of, I don't know, telling people off, essentially, because I'm just so disappointed in our system, especially in our justice system. And you know, we see on the news all the time, oh, someone said to a reporter, oh, grab her by the pussy. Oh, yeah, big legal case. Oh, you know, Crown attorneys go to bat. Oh, we'll just get that person who said he was going to grab her by the pussy. But you have a repeat sex offender who had previously done time in Kingston Penitentiary for the same kind of crime that he did to me. He had me for 2 days! 2 days! That's a long time to have somebody stick it down your throat until you pass out over and over again. Stick it up your ass until his penis is covered in your shit and your blood. Then stick that bloody shitty penis down your throat and hold it there until you pass out over and over and over again for 2 days. And the police? Oh no, they won't prosecute that. The Crown won't prosecute that. And why not? I don't know. I'm not a reporter, maybe. Is that why? Yeah, so that's why I'm making this video, because I don't want to call the cops up and tell them that, because I mean, this has gone on for years, and the problem is that when you try to address it through OCOPS, you try to address it through OIPERD, you try to go to the OCPC, you try to make a civil claim, you go through the civil court, you go all the way to the Supreme Court, which I did, and they all just make fun of you. And they say, oh, crazy person, conspiracy theory, woo! Which is not it. That's not it at all. What I'm saying is, look, the police, at the time that repeat offender did that to me, the police said, oh, we can't arrest him because we don't have any anti-stalking laws. And of course, I believe them, so I just kept moving and moving and moving and trying to get away from this asshole, because he stalked me for 1.5 years before he finally got me. I did my best to get away from the fucker. But the police said, oh no, we can't arrest. They knew what he was doing, and they knew him. They knew what he was going to do to me, and they just let him. And you know what? They lied. They could have. Now, they didn't have any anti-stalking laws, to be fair, but they had watch and beset laws, and I reported this to the police too. He broke into my place a number of times. On one occasion, he knocked me in and he held me, like he threw me to the floor and started to sexually assault me, but then he stopped and took off, you know. And he borrowed a ladder one time, and not borrowed, he stole, I guess, somebody's ladder, and he had it up to the second floor. He was taking my window off. And the cops, I heard them on the walkie-talkie, you know, Daryl Dart proceeding down King Street. They knew who he was. Did they pick him up? Did they charge him? No. Why not? Because he hadn't yet held me for 2 days and stuck his penis down my throat until I passed out over and over and over and over again. So, grab her by the pussy, yeah, that gets a prosecution. But actually, grab her by the pussy and stick it up her ass, make her bleed, stick it down her throat, make her pass out. No, that doesn't warrant a prosecution. No, the police are fine with that. They're just fine with that. Yeah, that's okay with the police. Yep, they're okay with that. Yep. It destroyed my life. And I was a young person then. And then, you know, but I tried. I thought, okay, well, I'll get over this. You know. And I did. I worked out of my apartment for 10 years because it took me that long to get over with nightmares. And just, I couldn't sleep. I had really bad depression. I had to take antidepressants for 10 years. But gradually I went back, and I had been an academic. I'd had rather a promising. I was good at it. And I did. I got better. I recovered. I was able to sleep okay, and I was able to eat fine. I was able to go out in public. I went back to school. I got another master's degree, and was again told by my professors that you know, I was good enough to have an academic career. And so I pursued it again, and then they, you know what happened? Then they came after me again. And you know what, there's records too, and the police, I just, you know, just recently just got an email from this police officer who I had hoped was going to take it seriously for a change. But no, they want me dead. That's the only conclusion, only logical conclusion, and I've got a master's degree in logic and formal semantics, and they don't give those degrees out unless you pass. It's the only logical conclusion. Because, I mean, you know, the other option, of course, but there's suicide and there's homicide. I could hunt down the people that have hurt me and kill them. You know, and there's some, you know, appeal to that. I'll tell you. But we're supposed to live in a civil society, aren't we? Well, yeah, think again, eh? But no, I have good records, and the police, they just won't investigate. They won't do it. They won't move. And I think they probably would if the Attorney General wanted them to do something. But you know, these people, they're important people. They're rich people that have hurt me. And now the repeat sex offender, he was a sex offender for hire. You know, kind of like Paul Bernardo. You could dial up Paul Bernardo, pay him enough money, he'd rape for you too. So he was like that. And that's what actually when the police, when they finally investigated, they didn't investigate initially, but they did eventually, they decided to investigate. And that's what they called him. They called him a Paul Bernardo. And then, you know, since then there was, I mean, you know, sort of rather colorful. I was assaulted with a car. The police, they won't investigate that. You know, that's fine with the police. Grab her by the pussy? No problem. You know, yeah, big, huge crown expense. Spend all the money you want to prosecute someone for a hate crime for saying grab her by the pussy. But conspire to hit someone with a car? The cops, they won't lift a finger to investigate that. And it's not the cops' fault, to be fair. You know, it's kind of the Attorney General's fault. So now I have to try to hunt down the Attorney General and say, listen. But she won't listen to me. Nobody listens to me. And so you call suicide prevention, you know, because that's what you know, it's not a mental illness. I don't think that's right to call it a mental illness. I think it's a criminal injury, because it's natural when you're assaulted, and then when you try to correct it, you know, by going through the proper channel. So you go to the police, and when the police act badly, you complain about them using the proper channels, and then you also do civil complaints to try to, you know, so you do it all properly. You go through the courts, you go to police, you go to all the tribunals that you're supposed to go to, and they'll spit in your face. And they won't correct it. So, you know what, it's natural. And plus, at the same time, the harassment, it continues. Like, and there's witnesses. I mean, it's not like I don't have good witnesses. I do, but the police won't talk to them. They won't investigate. They won't lift a finger to save my life, because I don't have a lot of money. That's what it comes down to, I think, you know. Like, there's a judge, there's a counselor, city councillor, Ontario, and an Ontario Superior Court judge. These are people who've committed crimes, like they're criminal code crimes, and then there's also like a Rich Laval, you know, not Laval, it's you know, Westmount, Montreal, Liberal Party of Canada associate, like Rideau, Mount Royal kind of upbringing thing. Anyway, one of those people who trained police in Afghanistan, so he knows all the chiefs of police and everything. You know. He's a rapist too. He's the one that hired the repeat sex offender. And I don't have any proof of that, except what the repeat sex offender said. So I can't, you know, and you'd have to have it in writing or something. But, you know, he's wealthy and he's connected, and his brothers got top access to top security records and things, and he can just screw with you like crazy. But the police, they won't do anything. They won't do anything to go against these people because, well, because they get told not to, and they don't get told to do it. And so, you know, Joe Blow Nobody's citizen who were told all our lives, look, you're equal under the law. Bullshit. The only recourse that is open to me to save my own life, because these fuckers, they'll come after me. They'll what they would like me to do. They would like me to be certified as crazy so that all of my allegations about them, you know, get dismissed as just the ramblings of a crazy person. That hasn't happened because I'm not mentally ill, and I don't, you know, I just don't. I don't have that. I don't have all sorts of witnesses as well, and I would throw a bloody fit. I would demand my rights, and they wouldn't be able to keep me. They just wouldn't be able to. Not. They just don't do that. They don't have enough room in the hospitals to keep a person that's not willing to stay, and who isn't violent and who doesn't pose any threat to anybody. So, but the only options really, logically left, are homicide and suicide. Or I suppose I could, you know, break some kneecaps or... That's what it comes down to, you know. And that's where our society, our rule of law, it's just gone completely down the crapper. When this kind of thing can go on. I mean, I would not have believed it if it hadn't happened to me. I wouldn't have believed it. But since it has happened to me, I believe it. And I know I'm not alone. I know that Robert Van Voren, now he's international, he collects, you know, evidence, data on this type of thing that goes on. And I mean, I've talked to enough other people who've had similar enough experiences to know our rule of law is in really big trouble. Really big trouble. And the thing is that the chain of command, I mean, what cop in his right mind is going to fight corruption like that? You know, fight for somebody like me. They aren't going to do it because they'd lose their job. Same thing with crown attorneys. I mean, you know, they have a fair amount of power. But, you know, politically they would be out of a job as well, because I would, you know, I'm not in the favor of large bodies of misogynists who hate women like me. So that's the bottom line.